A very good day to all of you. CBSE has released a circular recently regarding implementation guidelines for language instruction under National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023 for foundational and preparatory stage. All schools are required to adopt and implement the language education provisions of NCF 2023 from the current academic session, that is 2025-26. The National Curriculum Framework emphasizes that the first language of literacy, R1, in schools should ideally be the student's mother tongue or familiar regional or state language. If there are practical considerations such as classroom diversity, resource limitations, or oral traditions lacking written forms, R1 may shift to the state language, which would be a familiar language. R1 must serve as the medium of instruction until foundational literacy in another language is achieved. Now let's see the instructions for the foundational stage. Languages to be taught, R1 and R2. Medium of instruction. At the foundational stage, children begin formal education in a linguistic environment that must feel natural, nurturing, and culturally rooted. As per NCF 2023, the primary language of the learning and the medium of instruction must be child home language, mother tongue, or a familiar regional language, which will be referred to as R1. As per NCFSE 2023 Part C, R1 should be the language most familiar to the students, which would be the mother tongue. Since it is in R1 that literacy is first attained, it must be used as the medium of instruction for other subjects, at least until literacy in another subject is attained. In the foundational stage, developing foundational literacy and numeracy finds adequate emphasis. The focus is on building familiarity of students with two spoken languages, R1 and R2. At the end of foundational stage, students are expected to read fluently in R1 and comprehend what they read and begin writing sentences in R1 to express the experiences, themes, and what they see in pictures, thus achieving foundational literacy in R1. Learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are expected at this stage are predominantly oral and experiential. Children should develop listening comprehension, oral fluency, vocabulary, phonemic awareness, and an emergent understanding of symbols and print. Formal reading and writing are introduced, beginning with the recognition of letter and basic word formation in R1. Pedagogy and learning resources. For Balvatika stage, for play-based and activity-oriented pedagogy, schools can use Jadui Pitara and E-Jadui Pitara available in various Indian languages. For classes 1 and 2, NCERT has published textbooks which are available in printed form in Hindi, Urdu and English. These books are available in digital form in other languages as well. These resources may be utilized keeping in view the guidance provided by the NCERT regarding the transactions of these resources in classrooms. Now we will see the implementation guidelines for the preparatory stage. Medium of instruction. In the preparatory stage as well, students may continue to learn in R1, which could be the preferred medium of instruction for all the subjects. NCFSE 2023 states that since it is in R1 that literacy is first attained, it must be used as a medium of instruction for other subjects, at least until literacy in another language is attained. Accordingly, an option may be given to the study in medium other than R1 to those who are interested in studying through R2, depending on whether foundational literacy in R2 has been attained. Option of medium of instruction. At least one language native to India will be offered as an option for the medium of instruction to all the students up to grade 12. Schools are required to provide this option in all the classes starting with preparatory stage if the primary medium of instruction is not a such language as is native to India. Competencies. At the preparatory stage, learners are expected to develop oral language skills using complex sentence structures to communicate ideas clearly and meaningfully in various contexts. Learners are encouraged to create various text types such as poems, dialogues, and posters using appropriate grammar and structure. Students are guided to develop the reading habits and preferences by regularly borrowing books from the library and engaging with them at home, thereby nurturing a lifelong interest in reading. R2. At the preparatory stage, learners are expected to build strong communication skills that supports effective day-to-day interactions and oral expressions. They listen attentively to stories, poems, and conversations, identify key ideas, comprehend narratives, and engage in meaningful conversations and group discussions. Now let's see the pedagogy. Pedagogically, schools should adopt multilingual classroom strategies. Teachers may use translation, comparison of vocabulary and expressions across R1 and R2, and simple language games to promote the engagement. Exposure to rich literary resources in both the languages should be encouraged. Learning resources. Schools should refer to the NCERT books, which are also available at the given link. This link is also given in the description box of this video. Relaxation to the children with special needs. In the circular, it is given that the appropriate authority shall make suitable modifications in the curriculum and examination system to meet the needs of the students with disabilities, such as extra time for the completion of examination papers, facility of scribe, exemption from second and third language courses. Now, let's see the implementation timeline and action plan. To ensure uniform and effective implementation, all schools must constitute a NCF implementation committee by the end of May 2025. This committee will be responsible for mapping student mother tongue, aligning language resources, and guiding curriculum adjustments. The mapping of learners' linguistic backgrounds must be completed at the earliest. By the end of summer break, schools should achieve the realignment of the curriculum and teaching materials to reflect the use of R1 as medium of instruction and to ensure structured introduction of R2 at appropriate stage. Teacher orientation and training workshops should also be completed before the implementation begins, focusing on multilingual pedagogy, classroom strategies, and language-sensitive assessment. Implementation may commence from July 2025. Schools requiring time to transition may avail of some additional time. However, care may be taken that the implementation is not inordinately delayed. Monthly progress reports must be submitted at the given link by the 5th of each month starting July 2025. School may also be visited by the academic observers for support and guidance. The multilingual vision of NCF 2023 is grounded in equity, inclusion, and cognitive empowerment. This is not a just curricular shift, it is a pedagogical commitment to India's linguistic and cultural diversity and unity. All are requested to frame a committee for the implementation of National Curriculum Framework School Education 2023. That's all from this video. Thank you very much.